So we're not freaking recruiters. We have no obligation to talk up the military, and we sure as hell won't be reprimanded anymore for talking shit about the military. Everything in this video is our honest opinion, and it's coming from two people who never really wanted to join the military and honestly didn't even really like it while we were in. So watch till the end because we're gonna give you our honest opinion about joining the military.
So what a lot of people care about is how much you get paid in the military. Starting out, if you're E1, E2, E3, those are the typical pay grades that you start out in the military. You can get paid between 20 to 24K. Depending on where you live in the country, if it's San Francisco, you're gonna get paid $15 an hour, which is 30K a year. The federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, and that's 12K a year. So depending on where you live in the military, you're gonna be making more or less than the minimum wage. Another thing that you have to take into consideration is that the military base pay has been going up every year since 2004. And the federal minimum wage has not gone up since 2009. So that 20 to 24K doesn't seem like a lot of money, but what you have to keep in mind is the living expenses. Especially when you're starting out in the military, you're either going to a school, and those schools usually have on-base housing, which is effectively free for yourself. Once you're finished with that school, depending on what branch you go to, you're gonna go to a base that has housing, or if you're in the Navy, you're gonna be living on a ship. So that living expense of not being able to pay rent, you're getting that 20 to 24K on top of that. So comparing the civilian life to a military life, the biggest expense is going to be housing, and that housing is free for you when you go in the military. And if you're married or you're in long enough at a certain rank, you can apply for BAH, which is a monthly housing allowance given to you to cover the expenses of owning a property or renting out a place.
So yeah, you might get this BAH, which is basic allowance for housing, which is pretty much money that the military gives you every month to be able to pay for rent. If you want to know the criteria on how to get that, it's a little bit too much to go over in this video. Comment down in the section below and we can get that information for you guys. But just know that if you've been in the military long enough or you're at a certain rank, you'll be able to get that monthly housing allowance and being able to live off base in an apartment for yourself that is not deducted from your actual monthly base pay. There are also other stipends that the military gives depending on where you live. So like for instance, if you live in Hawaii or Japan, you get this thing called COLA, which is pretty much like a cost of living allowance. And pretty much what that is, if the area that you're living in is super expensive, you'll get this cost of living adjustment. So that way you can get a little bit extra money in comparatively to everyone else because the area you live in is too expensive. So the military has a lot of monthly stipends and benefits that they give you to really allow you to make a good amount of money wherever you live and being able to pay your bills at a reasonable amount. So yeah, there are so many benefits that the military offers that it's really honestly too extensive to go over just this video. If you want to know about those, then follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Liberty for the Brave, where we go over a weekly quick tip every single week about a different military benefit that is offered that most people don't know about. But one of the ones that I wanted to highlight was medical and dental. Honestly, most minimum wage jobs that are in this country don't include medical and dental. And when you get to the point in your life where you have to pay for that yourself, you're gonna realize how fucking expensive that can be. I mean, one of the main reasons why I joined the military was because I needed a root canal, and that was gonna cost over $10,000. And in the military, I got that for free.
Another big thing about the military is depending on which job that you get a sign-on bonus. And for the job that I got at the beginning of 2012, it was a $12,000 sign-on bonus. That same job right now is paying $40,000 for a sign-on bonus. So fuck me, right?
So, yeah, you don't really make too much starting out in the military if you're just looking at that base pay. A lot of people like to highlight that. But the thing is that there are so many benefits out there. There's so many other little stipends that the military will give you over time. And if you really take advantage of these financial opportunities that the military gives to all active duty, then you can really set your life up for a healthy financial future. And you can even become a multi-millionaire. So if you want to know how to do that, check out our other videos. Okay, so we briefly touched on it, but for our second one, it's medical and dental. So medical and dental is definitely a huge benefit in the military, but we're gonna be honest with you guys, it's honestly hit or miss. This is one of the biggest gripes about people in the military, and it's for good reason. A lot of people get awesome surgeries in the military, but some people definitely get screwed.
And the reason for that is actually for a few different reasons. The first reason is that there's a huge influx of people going to medical every day. And another reason is that most of the time you're going to be seeing somebody who's a corpsman and not an actual doctor. For certain situations, you do actually have to see a doctor, but for the most part, you're going to see a corpsman who just joined the military, just like you and me, just trying to do their job. And along with that, you know, we've met a lot of corpsmen who are great at their job and they actually care about their job. But like any other type of field or any other job that you go to, you're gonna find people who just really don't give a fuck about it. So medical care in the military can be a great thing at no cost to you, but it's just one of those things that you have to fight a little bit harder for the treatment that you deserve.
And the next things that we're gonna be talking about is one of the most valuable things that you get out of the military, and it's the skill set that you can get. But that's your responsibility though. You have to make sure that you're picking a good job that, you know, is really going to transition well out of the military and be valuable, and that you can get paid well coming out of the military. If you want some information on how to do that and what jobs to look at and what we think are the best jobs, then subscribe to our channel, because we're going to be coming out with that video really soon. And you get a ton of hands-on experience in the military, which is completely different than just going to college. I mean, a lot of people that I know get out of the military at 4 to 6 years and get paid just as much, if not more, than people who have gone to college and actually gotten a degree. Like, that's no joke. A lot of companies really care about hands-on experience and the technical aspects that you build while in the military.
Plus, you're getting the GI Bill, which is now called the Forever GI Bill, and you're getting paid to go to college for free. You're getting a living allowance that pays for rent, which can be thousands of dollars a month. So effectively, when you come out of the military, you're getting a valuable skill, and you're also basically getting a free degree, getting paid a living allowance, and also getting a degree to make even more money. And while you're in the military, you can have the opportunity to use tuition assistance if you already have college credits, or if you want to get more credits before you get out, so you can make effective use of that GI Bill benefit. Again, we're going to be coming out with more information of these different benefits and how you guys can use them, but just take in mind that even if you don't want to get a degree out of the military, and if you didn't get the job that you wanted in the military, there are programs where you don't have to go to a traditional college, and you can specialize in skills such as coding and still get a high-paying job and get into these high technology industries.
Okay, so the next big benefit that we're going to talk about joining the military is travel. You know, and not everyone in the military gets to travel. You know, it really depends on how much you deploy, what job you get, where you're stationed, and even what branch you join. But if you do get to travel, you're going to be seeing some of like the best places. God damn it! Look at you! Oh, cool. Okay. But if you do get to travel, you're going to be seeing a lot of really cool places with some of the best friends that you'll ever have. I mean, I was stationed in 3 different places in the United States, and every one of those places was freaking awesome. I loved it. I also got to travel to the Philippines, Vietnam, South Korea, Singapore, Guam, Hawaii. Did I say Guam twice? I don't know.
Guam, Philippines, Guam, Hawaii, Guam.
Guam. And all of them were some of the best and most insane times of my life. I mean, I've traveled before the military and since the military, and going to these places while in the military with some of those people, it's... God damn it, okay. Hold on. Okay.
That was the most cartoonish thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I've traveled before the military and since I got out of the military, and you know, none of those places that I ever went are the same with the people who you go with in the military and all those friends that you have. I mean, if you've been to some of these ports with some of the people in the military, then you know what I'm talking about and you know how crazy it gets. If you haven't done it, then it's just one of those things that you have to experience, and it's something that just telling a story can't really do justice.
You'll meet people who eat pears with mayonnaise. Dude, I knew this girl was like from Tennessee. She ate pears with mayonnaise.
What the fuck?
And that kind of brings us to our next topic is one of my favorite things that I liked about the military was the people that I got to meet. You know, and it's one of those things that you have to experience once you join. It doesn't matter what other type of field you went into. It doesn't matter if you're an athlete, a lawyer, doctor, a cook. When you join the military, everybody is consumed by this culture and this environment, and you guys all are able to understand each other to a certain degree. The military, you're gonna find the dumbest, the funniest, the most ridiculous type of people, but they also can be one of your best friends that you'll have for your life, right? And going back to the travel thing, like, you're gonna meet so many different types of people, and you're gonna have those experiences in these ports that no one else is going to be able to understand. So everything that Robert has said about going to the different ports in Asia, I had a little bit different experience of going to the Middle East and Europe, and the stories that he told me were all similar because we were on two different carriers but still had that same type of military environment. And the military likes to portray itself as this, you know, professional organization, and it can be. But, you know, you have to be able to flip that switch when the situation calls for it. 90% of the time, you know, it's basically a high school for adults where insane shit happens on a daily basis. It's, you know, the people of the military is one of those things and those experiences that you have. You don't really realize them at the moment, but especially when you get out, there are things that you look back on and you're like, you know, these are things you're not going to be able to experience again. So this is our overall take about joining the military. You know, there are too many benefits of the military that we can't go over in one video, but, you know, joining the military, even with 4 years, you can make a huge impact on your life.
You know, and I never even wanted to join the military. My dad was in the Army my whole time growing up, and I always swore that I would never join. But I ended up joining because I couldn't pay for college. And I didn't really even like the military for honestly most of the time that I was in because I was jaded about the fact that I had to join. But I am so thankful that I ended up making that decision because I would not be anywhere close to where I'm at in life if it wasn't for the military and the things that I got out of it. You know, I absolutely do not regret it, and I guarantee you that almost every single veteran who you talk to, even if they hated their time in the military, they do not regret joining. So, you know, you don't want to be looking back when you're 30 and regret the fact that you never joined and you're past that age where you can actually join the military. It's one of those things that you have to make that decision early on in your life, and I promise you, you're not going to regret it.
A lot of people think of joining the military as an out from either going to college or getting a job. But the fact is that making the decision to join the military is easy as it is. Getting through the training and getting actually through the military itself is actually a really difficult thing to do. So if you're deciding to join the military in a lot of ways actually sucks. But you're going to find some of the best times in your life and some of the worst times in your life. And the way to get through that is building that work ethic and also building that relationship with the people around you. And that's where the community aspect comes into it. If you just graduated high school or you're in early 20s and you don't really know where you're going, you're kind of stuck in your hometown, well, the military is going to be one of those things that can drastically change your life. It can get you out of that life of stagnation and mediocrity. At the same time, you're going to build valuable skills and meet a lot of great people and have great experiences.
So if you decide that the military is right for you, then we really encourage you to subscribe to our channel, because that's why we made this channel. It's to show and highlight all of the underutilized benefits and all of the opportunities that are presented to people in the military that we didn't take advantage of a lot of them. And most people in the military don't do any single one of these things. And it's a complete shame, because if you were to be starting out in the military and you just did some of these things, it would put you on a much better path than almost everyone else out in the military. And if you decide that the military is just not for you, or you don't know and you're still on the fence, then check out some of our other videos, because there might be one of our videos that really highlights something that's very applicable in your life that might swing you in the other direction. You know, you might watch a video and you'd be like, okay, that's not really for me. I don't really know if the military is right. Or maybe if you're on the fence, you might see a video that's, you know, that's very applicable to me, like me wanting to go to college. If I watched a video about the GI Bill and I knew everything about it, it would have been like, yep, I'm definitely doing that. And when I started out, I didn't really know too much. I just made a lot of guesses about some stuff. I didn't really know what I was getting into. And if there would have been that opportunity to learn a lot of these things, then I would have made a lot better choices. We both have, and a lot of other people in the military would have as well. So check some of those out. But if you do end up joining the military, then, you know, congratulations, because it's going to be one of those things that you're going to look back on and feel really honored that you did, and you're going to be very satisfied with that portion of your life.